in just a second. Boom, we look good. All right. Get my playback up. Got a notification. It's pretty cool. How's everybody doing? Hopefully quite well. Kind of an obvious stream ahead. Just getting my stream up. What's up, Spirits? How's it going? But yeah, so I figured, we don't really have too much to talk about tonight. As I figure, we've already kind of discussed like the upcoming title games, or we could do that tomorrow if I end up streaming. Those two games have been discussed pretty good, and there isn't really, I feel like, too much more we can add to that conversation. Yeah, that's why it's like a super early draft. I don't really think this is like our first official mock draft. I would call this like a 0.5, like mock draft 0. What's up, Bad Boy? Literally taking Carson Beck until he decided to stay in college for another year, but in Miami. Yeah, I seen that. That's why it's also a little bit like early, because we don't really know who's going to wind up like officially staying in the draft, who might pull out. There's all kinds of different like directions this could still go. By the way, if you haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. Helps out our stream, get some more people in here early on. It helps us right away. And just a lot can change, right? Like teams could trade things around. We still have months to go. The draft is in May. And our first one usually comes right around March. I think that's right after the combine. You want an edge rusher? I would imagine that Buffalo's in that market. Von Miller's getting close to retirement, so maybe. I don't think so. I don't think he's worthy of like a top 10 pick, and I don't really think any other team really needs a quarterback that bad. Now again, there could be like a weird trade where like the Patriots and the Patriots don't need a quarterback. Maybe like Tennessee trades away the one, and like then they trade it back again and just keep acquiring picks, and then they're like, hey, we'll try out Quinn Ewers. Like they're picking at like the end of the first round or something crazy like that. But again, outside of Seattle, I don't really see a late round team that like needs a quarterback. I got like maybe Pittsburgh. Just the first round. I don't really mess with like the later rounds of drafts, because those are quite literally crapshoots. Really, anything after like the top 10 picks are kind of random. There's sort of like a reality with the NFL draft. What is it, like the first 15 picks you can kind of predict out, and then after that it's basically like good luck. Because again, it gets really hard to predict like what team wants to move up like one pick, and then like because again, that's when like first round picks stop being like traded away. Like you swap first obviously with anybody, but that's usually about all you get, maybe a second included for them smaller move ups. And all the premier talent's pretty much gone, save for like the occasional slide player, like Brian Branch fell. And these are guys who were supposed to be first round picks, right? Like that just kind of. By the way, I'm waiting like 10 minutes to get started on like the official like stream subject tonight, giving time for maybe a few more people to come through. There we go. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. And it's also interesting because there are 6 new regimes that we're not really sure how they're going to draft. Like we had a pretty good read on the Jaguars for the last couple years, but now that they have everything brand new, we don't really even know who the GM is yet. What's up, Cheryl? So we're kind of in these weird stuck points where it's like, oh, we're doing all 32 teams. All 32. We'll be drafting all 32. Yeah. Starting with the Titans, and it's like Jacksonville, then I think it's the Giants, then the Patriots. No, who picks third or second? It's I know the Giants pick like third. Realistic. Like realistic, but I don't know if we'll count this as like our first like actual mock of the year. Mainly sorry, like I had to refresh something. Mainly because it's like, it's kind of still like it feels like it's up in the air what's actually going to be happening. But again, if you haven't dropped a like yet here before we get really started and into everything, make sure you do so. Helps the stream out. Gets a few more people in here, which is nice. I'd appreciate you. Thank you to the 6 we got. Good looking out. Plus, I don't know what teams don't have. I think everybody's got a first this year, right? I don't think there is a singular team without a first round pick. I think Cleveland actually has a first round pick this year. I think the Rams do. I think Miami does. Yeah, I think everyone's got a first this year, right? Carolina does. Those are the usual suspect teams that just kind of like don't have first round picks. I think the Saints got one. Chicago definitely's got one. Oop. Do the Bears got a first? I just kind of forgot. Like, I don't know. Maybe Chicago got rid of that shit to get Caleb Williams. I don't remember. Yeah, there were no crazy trades last year, were there? That kind of like moved around first. Everybody just kind of took a quarterback with the first 3 picks. Bears were like, we'll take Williams. I think the Commanders took Daniels, and then the Patriots took May. We did improve. We went from the 3rd pick in the draft to the 4th, so that's good. You know, it's responsible drafting. I, for one, would be intimidated by the Patriots' new team. One thing I do want to look at though, that's interesting. New NFL team cap space 2025 offseason. With new cap. NFL just jumped it up. It's now it's going to be $275 million. So that means the Patriots are going to be at. They haven't updated this since the official number came out. Do they have the 275? Yep, cap maximum. Okay. What the fuck? Why aren't these numbers right? I guess something must have. What just happened to make it go so weird? This is right though. This is technically the correct numbers and orders. How did everyone lose money? I don't know how the Patriots are toward the most of like effective cap space, but maximum restructure. It's like, we have the most money. What do you mean? We're up in the best spot with money. Eagles have the 31st. Yeah, well, as of right now, potentially. Their draft, they could be as low as 32, or as high as 28. It kind of depends. Does the NFC play first, or does the AFC play first? It's kind of like who loses win, and I think records come into a little bit of play with who remains, but I don't actually know if they do. It could be that Daniels is the Just be like, if whatever the lowest seeds remaining are, that's where you go to. That would make sense. Eagles got the second best record left, so they have the 31st pick. Chiefs would have the 32nd. Then I think Buffalo would be 30, and then Washington 29. Yeah, because right now it's still like sorted and kind of ordered by like best record and all that. All right, let's have a little fun. Let's jump into the draft with all three people here. Okay. So Tennessee's up. What is this? I want to be in Tennessee. Okay. Let me pause it. Okay, cool. We can keep it paused. We got what? Tennessee. Let's say their number one need is a quarterback at this point. However, you could also argue they need just about everything else that is possibly available. So you could argue they need Will Johnson. But again, with a corner like L'Jarius Sneed, they should just trade the pick away if they want to go for Will Johnson. See if they can get somebody else to come like pick it up. A similar thing with Abdul Carter. I think they could just kind of trade that pick away, see if anyone's interested inside of the top 5. But I don't really know if talent-wise, outside of maybe Travis Hunter, he's probably just going to be a corner in the NFL anyway. I don't really know if anyone's worth like trading up for in this draft. What's up, Jacob? I feel like this is one of them unique drafts where it's just like kind of take the best guy that falls to you, and you're probably in a pretty good spot. Like you're probably okay. Draft a receiver. Maybe. You guys might be in the quarterback market, but you do have Fields, so. But with Tennessee, I'm guessing they're going to go with a quarterback, and I'm guessing it's going to be between Shador or Cam Ward. It's kind of like, but I don't know. Well, I guess they could go with Shador, but again, does that fix the issues they have in Tennessee? Again, wide receiver is an issue. Quarterback is an issue. Basically, the whole team is a problem. So, what are we thinking here? Cam Ward, just kind of an easy. Again, I think Cam is a far better quarterback than Shador is. And with like the success of players like Jaden Daniels, I'm guessing a quarterback in Cam Ward who plays a kind of similar-ish, but isn't as good a thrower style as Jaden. He's probably going to, like, people are going to be looking for quarterbacks like him. So I can see Tennessee going for a guy like that. The Buckeyes receiver, the junior who just declared. If anyone else has an input, feel free to bring it up. I don't mind other people's takes. What are we thinking? If anyone has another take. It's always nice to see what people want to say. I've heard a few teams are trying to scheme their way back into the first, or at least a couple fans want their teams to do that for that Buckeye receiver. He's a very popular name. Hey, we're up at 8 likes. If you haven't dropped one yet, consider doing so. Well, at least make the stream look like it's popular. Yeah, we can go Cam Ward. Maybe go Shador. Because again, you have the number 1 pick. You probably need the quarterback unless you trade it away. However, I don't really want to fuck around with trades. Unless anybody has a really good trade that could just be like flip, and then would it be like Cleveland really desperately wants like Cam Ward? It's like, oh. I don't think the Giants really care this year. Giants could be in a multi-year tank plan to get Arch Manning into New York for 2026. So what are we thinking? Anybody have any differing opinion on the Titans here? You know what's funny? Every year when the Titans pick comes up, nobody ever wants to contribute. And it's like, well, they are the number one pick in the draft, so we might need people to like give an opinion on it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where am I at? Okay, I'm going to go with, technically I landed on the cornerback. So does that mean, okay, is everyone gone? Is the stream dead? That's pretty bad. Guess no one's coming to hang out or wants to chat. Well, hopefully it picks back up a little bit. I'm not really too sure why nobody wants to talk football. Word for Titans. Yeah, we'll probably just do that. Probably the right move. And then we're on to the Browns. Oh, I can't pause it. Uh-oh. Oh, well, it's in slow mode. Sorry, I'm just distracted. It just sucks that there's only fucking 2 people here. Like, oh, this is kind of a hard stream to do with nobody here. Not fun at all. Probably just going to give this like maybe like a few more minutes to pick back up, and then I may just call it. Quarterback. So, what all do they need? Probably edge rushers, quarterbacks. They could be a team that snags Abdul Carter at 2. That isn't too outside of the realm of possibility. Again, this isn't I mean, they could also grab Shadur Sanders, I suppose. I think it would be down to those 2 players at this pick. And I'm guessing depending on like how the workouts go and what happens exactly with Myles Garrett this offseason, whether they decide to trade him, whether he like sticks around, that's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of like a up in the air situation right now for the Browns. Not really sure if like they'll be keeping him. Not really sure if he'll want to be traded. Again, they're still working through that. So it's kind of like, but again, they also don't really have a quarterback, especially because Deshaun Watson's ankle exploded again. Yeah, for sure, Joneso. That's cool. What are we thinking for the Titans? Do we go with quarterback here just because like they don't really have much of a choice? Or do we just give him like Abdul Carter just kind of because? This one's tough because again, it's one of them picks where you don't really know because of the free agency situation with Myles, or the pending offseason of Myles Garrett. Well, I don't think the Browns are going to want to take Shadur. I think Carter might be the right pick here. That's where I'm leaning on too. Cleveland has like an affinity for players like that. The New York Giants. Yeah, that's my thoughts too. He won't let his son go to the fucking cow there. That's exactly. And again, I think the Browns are going to be trading Myles Garrett in this offseason. It kind of depends on what Garrett feels like. Again, Garrett's ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl, and I think the Browns have to enter a rebuild. I think it's kind of like it's fucked. It just didn't. It's like they messed up at quarterback. What's up, Jake? So the Browns have to kind of blow it up, and I think Myles Garrett is the ultimate blow it up piece. You can rebuild your whole team off that trade. Shadur to the Giants. That's my thoughts too here. Him or Travis Hunter, but I don't really think the Giants need any help on their defense. and they actually have a very fucking stacked wide receiver room, believe it or not. They just kind of don't have a quarterback. That gives them Neighbors. That gives them Shadur Sanders. That gives them, I think Jalen Hyatt's actually a pretty decent receiver, believe it or not. So again, I think that works out, and I think that gives them like the big market of New York. I think Dion's okay with him going there. Yeah, and like of all the coaches that he could be with, it would make sense to go to a guy like Dable, who's used to like more athletic. Oh, actually, I don't think fucking Shadur is athletic, is he? Isn't Shadur the son of Dion? That's just like kind of like a dog shit athlete for whatever reason. It's like, what happened? Like he's like a good football player, but it's like, really? Dion's kid and you're like slow? By the way, if anyone hasn't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. We might put us up over the 10 like mark. Yeah, probably just go D. We'll just go Shadur here. Okay. The New England Patriots. Boy, this is a weird one because of who's open. Now, there's like 3 things I need to say before we go into this pick. It's either Will Johnson here or Travis Hunter, I think. If this is the way it shakes out, I don't think it will, because I think someone will take Travis far before. But if this is how it breaks down, the Patriots actually could use a corner here. Believe it or not, because of the Patriots having around 140, anywhere from 126 to 146 million, they're probably going to build the offense through the offseason, because one of their franchise weak points has been drafting wide receivers. So I'd imagine they're probably not going to focus the wide receiver market too hard in the draft. I know Travis plays wide receiver, but that's just kind of like an added bonus. Plus, the Patriots uniquely already have a player in Marcus Jones who does what Travis Hunter does. Believe it or not, we have a player, his name's Marcus Jones, who plays all 3 sides of the ball. And most likely with McDaniels back, he'll play more on the offensive side of the ball this year. So it may be Will Johnson, who's ever a better pure corner. But again, yeah, most likely they might probably go with Travis here if he's an open. And again, they're in the market to sign players. Like I know Alaric Johnson from the Rams isn't necessarily like a guy who hits free agency. Maybe the Rams pay him. But again, the Rams don't have a ton of money. And he's set to be a free agent. And he was kind of like a later round pick. So he's going to be after a bag. Trey Smith, who was a 6th round pick from the Chiefs, is a free agent. Kansas City does not have the money to pay what he is going to be worth. Probably one of the best young guards in football. So the Patriots can get revenge on them stealing Tooney. So you can go after a player like Trey Smith. You could go for Ronnie Stanley if you want to grab a right tackle. And then all of a sudden you move your own way and you back to right guard. You let Cole Strange and David Andrews play center together. Boom, you rebuilt your offensive line. It's expensive. That's a fucking very pricey line. But again, you have Drake May. You should build him an offensive line of those guys. Those are all very good. It's a good line. And then with the receivers, you can obviously like try to sign T. Higgins. You could try to make a trade. There's going to be a few guys available. I think DK Metcalf is like openly available. Again, there's quite a few guys that they can make. Maybe AJ Brown, depending on if the Eagles lose. Maybe we could steal him. Yeah, Elliot Wolf's a smart guy. This is going to be his very, very, very first year of like running the team. They like incorporated his system officially last year, so like it kind of worked. We had a decent draft last year, but not great. So with this pick, I'm guessing we're gonna go Travis Hunter if he's there. It's kind of a silly idea that we're not going to take the generational, like potential Charles Woodson of a generation. So yeah, if he's there, we're probably going to take him, especially if we have a good offseason and we don't have to like take like a Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks. We don't have to risk it on Tet. We could just take like a surefire thing. Also, we don't really know if we're in the Mason Graham market. Mainly because we also don't know if Christian Barmore is going to be able to like get past the blood clotting issue. He got past it, but I think it popped back up right at the end of the year. Like he had issues with it again. And I think he's on like the bereavement list. So again, we may be in like the Mason Graham department, but that kind of depends on like the long-term health of far more, which I think is supposed to be fine. Like, I think they shut him down because they were just like, this is a fucking, it was the end of the year, blah, 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 blah. So we'll go Travis Hunter. All right, Jacksonville. They need a corner. They're going to go Will Johnson, right? Do they go, or do they go Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks with the intention of moving them inside, like to guard? Where a lot of people think that which one's going to be a guard? Will Campbell, they think. But do you pick a guard at 5? I don't think you do that. I think that's a very bad pick. Trust me, everybody flames you for it. Do they go Will Johnson here? Mason Graham or Will Johnson? Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I'm guessing Will Johnson mainly because they had a dog shit secondary this year, and with like the quarterbacks that are starting to accumulate in the AFC, like they have to deal with Stroud in that receiving corp. So I'm guessing eventually the Colts will figure out the quarterback position, and the Titans are probably going to be drafting a young quarterback. So if you're them, they probably got to go Will Johnson. Yeah, it's just like the Texans are in your division, and you have to deal with like Drake May's coming up. You have to deal with there's some good young QBs in the AFC. Bo Nix. I also think Will Johnson's one of the best players in this draft. I think he's very underrated. Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to try to move up very aggressively in this draft, by the way. I think Shedeur is going to wind up on the Raiders through an aggressive trade up with the Giants. Because again, I don't really think the Giants are trying to win this year. I think they're going to take a player, maybe like a Kelvin Banks or a Will Campbell, or like maybe they trade with the Raiders and get Mason Graham here. But if I had to really guess, I would say that the Raiders try to move very hard up in this draft and grab a player like Shedeur. I do think that's what's going to happen. Who the hell? Oh, Mario. Pete Carroll. Very, very funny, only for the fact that Jim Harbaugh and him are once again rivals. I don't know if you know the story of Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, but if you have time, it's a very funny tale to look into. I promise you, it's worth the time of looking into it. These two dudes have hated each other since Stanford and USC when they were coaching. And I think before that, it might have even gone back to when they were players. Like, I think their beef is even like when Carroll was coaching and Harbaugh was still playing. I think that's how far their beef has gone back. Yeah, they're most likely going to get Russell Wilson because he and Pete are like this again. Oh yeah, no, it's great that and it's the Raiders and the Chargers too. So it's like, hell yeah, classic NFL beef. You have to love when rivalries just, and you know, Carroll was like, fuck yeah, I fucking hate Jim Harbaugh, and Harbaugh's like, fuck yeah, I hate Pete Carroll. Like, they hate each other, but you know, they like, there's like a weird amount of competitive respect for one another, but they genuinely do not like one another, I don't think. If Pete was like 20 years younger, he'd probably fight him. It's like that between them. Trust me, it is very weird. And I still don't know what started it. But either way, with the Raiders, you're probably right about them taking Tet. But my guess here is like in the real, like when it actually comes down to it, I do think they aggressively trade with the Giants because I think the Giants are just going to try to build the team up for Arch Manning to come in 2026. Because Arch will be a junior and he'll probably declare for the NFL at that point. Sarkisian's getting him ready for the NFL down in Texas. He doesn't care if he ever starts. Why would he give a fuck? Arch Manning declares for the NFL, started 0 college games. Do you care? Like, no, I'll sit him for a year. We'll fucking figure him out in the NFL. We'll take the fucking Manning with the best athletics. But okay, so we're going with Tet here. Most likely he's going to be great and the Patriots get fucked on this whole thing, dude. I'm going to be so fucking mad if, it is the Patriots' recent luck that we would take Travis Hunter and he would be a terrible player. Meanwhile, the next 2 picks in Will Johnson and Tet will both be all pros or pro bowlers as rookies. That is called the Patriots curse. When we take a wide receiver in the first, the next like 3 players that get drafted are usually like some of the greatest, especially receivers. It's downright unfair. All right, we'll go with Tet. The New York Jets wide defensive line. Mason Graham is probably the move here. You could all argue Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks. That's what I would argue. You may also, if you know of another good corner or safety, the Jets may bounce back. Yeah, it's probably It's Mason Graham, right? Like their defensive line is fucking, especially interior defensive linemen they're just bad. I don't know what happened to Quinnen Williams. He sucks now. Oh no, he's an edge rusher. Never mind, wrong position. I always forget Quinnen's not a defensive tackle. I'm like, what happened to Quinn? Oh yeah, never mind, he's an edge. Yeah, they don't have a defensive tackle, so Mason Graham is the pick here. Carolina edge rusher, probably Michael Williams. Yeah. Or do they go O-line? No, they actually don't they have a good offensive line in Carolina? Like a surprisingly good little line for who their quarterback, for like what their team is. It's like, wow, they actually block for that little guy pretty good. Yeah, like they don't need linemen. They need like do they go Ashton Jainty? Think about this for a second. Like think about like Dave Canellis and like think about the kind of running backs he employed over in Tampa for that year. Does he fit that kind of system? Like I'm trying to think like I know they have Chuba Hubbard and he's very talented. Yeah, they need an edge rusher, and that's Michael Williams. That's like the best one remaining, I think. No, they don't need a running back. They got Chuba Hubbard. They're good. Oh, man, would that be quite the pickup for them, wouldn't it? James Pierce Jr. Oh, who's that? Oh, we can go him. That's fine if we want to do that. They'd probably be able to trade this pick away then to like a team like Miami or something that might want to grab one of these tackles or something. Or one of the teams who maybe want to grab Ashton Jainty, maybe a team like a certain team from Dallas, Texas. But we'll go with Pierce Jr. New Orleans. They also need an edge rusher because all their defensive players are 8,000 years old. Honestly, they should trade away this year's first round pick. It would very much help with their terrible cap space. But you could also argue that they should probably take Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks here. Because their line is like a miserable. And they have no money to sign anybody. So we always have to remember that with New Orleans. They have to nail these draft picks and they have to be good players. They're probably going to take a guy like Michael Williams, or they take Will Campbell. I think it's one of the two with these two guys. And it's like, who do they grab? Chicago's going to be an interesting pick because I genuinely have no idea well, there's Ryan Poles still, so I have an idea of who they're going to take. They're probably going to dig Ashton Jainty. Well, no, Chicago needs linemen. It's very funny. I'm going to guess Michael Williams here. Kind of just understanding like the history of the Saints. They're like a very defensive focused football team, and they really like to get like big name edge rushers. You're thinking Kelvin Banks? Yeah, they desperately need linemen. And I don't think what's his name is retiring, is he? Cam Jordan. I don't think he's retiring, is he? If he's still there. That is something they do got to focus on and probably find in this draft. In my opinion. But yeah, we can go with Kelvin Banks. That's fine. Chicago Bears, Will Campbell. Oh yeah, then they're good. You could go Will Campbell. You could argue they go Ashton Janty here to pair with DeAndre Swift and to kind of complete the new head coach's style of building offenses. I like the idea of Janty here, even though I would hate to see the Bears get him. It's just like shit. But they also need linemen because their line is fucking miserable. And if Ben Johnson did learn anything, yeah, it would be really nice to get Janty, but you kind of don't have anyone to protect Caleb. And if Ben learned anything from his time in Detroit, it would be like you build the team through like the line out. And the Bears didn't do that. That's why they're in the shape that they're in. Teams that build from like skill positions always fuck themselves by like 2 years. That's why the Patriots are in trouble. And, isn't it better to generally trade your top 5 or top 10 pick for like 3? No, you should just take the best player available for the most part. This draft trading back isn't a bad idea. Are you sure on the running back over an offensive lineman that they probably could use? But I'll counter you by saying this is also probably one of the deepest running back classes I've seen in a very long time. I think Ohio State's running back also declared for the draft, and he's like one of the best in the nation, and he's like the 5th highest rated guy who entered the draft. So I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, but again, if you're a team that needs a running back and you want to take a running back, you probably take Ashton Janty here. We can do that. I mean, that's fine. I don't mind that argument. If it's a running back draft and a wide lineman draft, so who's the next best tackle? Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Oh, it does pick up a little bit toward the end. Okay, just not as many surefires. All right. I just thinking with like the new coach that they have, they're gonna wind up going lineman here. But all right, we'll go Janty. San Francisco, and we also kept that big bastard out of the fucking Kyle Shanahan's fucking grubby fingers. They may take Mykel Williams actually. They could take Malachi Starks and have him play like a quasi linebacker safety position. They could go Starks. They're probably going to lose. They're probably going to lose 2 safeties this offseason. And that's probably who's the best safety in this class? Because I think they're losing 2 of their safeties. I think one of them is leaving because like their daughter passed away very like tragically, like a sudden death is, you know, SIDS. Like and he like says he can't even like be in California without terrible fucking feeling. So he's probably gonna leave. And then the other one is projected to sign with Detroit. I don't even know how the fuck that, like Armstead or something. That whatever that say. There's like 2 safeties who might leave, so I'm guessing they're going to wind up drafting a safety here. If it's as heavy as like an offensive line class, and it's like, well, they can probably take a tackle later. Yeah, but if it's like the best guy left is, are we thinking Will Campbell here? I mean, he kind of fit. I mean, he's a pretty good run blocker. So, I mean, I just feel like they're about to lose 2 of their safeties this offseason. I don't mind going tackle though, because again, it is their line is getting old, and they could start Will at right and then move him over to left. Sharks for San Francisco. Oh, Starks. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to take the lead and go with Starks on this. I think. Hold on. Yeah. I think I'm going to go Starks here. I'm going to take the lead on this one. I feel really strongly about who they're going to wind up drafting. I'm also usually very good with this team for whatever reason. The Dallas Cowboys. Running back, edge, tackle, linebacker. Probably defense, right? With Dallas, maybe Mike Hell. Maybe they go Jalen Walker. Burden. Who's Burden? Ooh, we're taking a reach. Not yet. I think they're gonna hire Schottenheimer's kid. Oh, there he is, wide receiver. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I didn't even see his name for whatever reason. What a burden. We'll draft him. I don't care about the Cowboys that much. We'll just get them out of the way. The Miami Dolphins. Oh boy. I'm gonna. Yeah, that's actually a good pickup for them. Their line is really bad. I don't know why their top need is an offensive lineman. Yeah, okay. You see linemen too. You see the same vision that I see with Miami then? Okay. We're all on kind of a similar thing with that they need tackles more than they need fucking man, we have Will Campbell cratering in this draft. Tyler Warren to the Colts, right? They don't have any. Their tight ends suck. All they got is that one really tall guy who isn't even really that good. What was it? Or am I thinking of the? I'm not thinking of the Ravens. They have a very tall tight end, but I think he's trash. There's also corners. Tyler Warren. Yeah, I was gonna say like that's a pretty straight up move right there. Well, Atlanta needs defensive players. What's up, Daniel? It kind of depends on how free agency goes. If free agency goes really good, I'd like to get my hands on Travis Hunter in New England. Him or Will Johnson, if we can get the rest of what we need through free agency, are my two top picks for the Patriots. I really want one of those two guys. Low key, I want Will Johnson more than I would like to see Travis Hunter, but I think pairing Gonzalez and Will Johnson together is such a fucking nasty looking secondary for years to come. Yeah, imagine though Travis Hunter and fucking Gonzalez paired up. Oh boy, that's a nasty secondary. Michael Williams. Yeah, that's my guess here. They desperately need an edge rusher. Judon wasn't it this year. He's ready to go. Oh, there we go. Arizona. Do they take Will Campbell? Hey, them taking Will Campbell might be a good idea only because that finally gives Kyler a left tackle that he can look over. I'm just kidding. I know this would be a right tackle. Rabel should be good. I'm hoping anyway. We'll be playing good, competent football. So that's all I care about. Campbell? Dan Campbell? Oh, Will Campbell. Yeah, I got you. Kenneth Grant, they have no D-line. Yeah, that's true. They don't have shit. Yeah. No Nick Sourton or whatever. Scourton. But yeah, you probably want to start on the D-lineman. Cincinnati. Well, we're going to start with defense. And everything else, maybe other than Will Campbell, probably won't be considered. We could go with Nick Scourton. We can go with Benjamin Morrison, Siobhan Revel Jr., Shamar Stewart, Tyler Booker. You know, there's plenty of guys. But I really don't know if they'll draft, like, you know, they could go tight end too. There seems to be a good tight end listed here in Colston Loveland. But It would also be very... Oh, they are going to lose, actually, T. Higgins. Ooh. No, that's irresponsible as fuck. What are we thinking here? This one's actually kind of a tough pick. They desperately need defensive players. But this team also has a drug problem. May just take fucking the Ohio State receiver. They've just been like, yeah, I know we need all these other things. But at the same time, Jamar Chase and Emeka. Jamar Stewart. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm thinking defensive player, offensive lineman. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know too much about him. I have to look into him. All right. Seattle. Interesting team. They need offensive linemen. They need defense. Aaron Glenn's now a rival coach. Yeah, that's all right. I'm going to be honest with you, Amir, though. In the same way, I don't know if we have any rivals in the NFL. Like, we do. We didn't. But now teams can beat us, so we're not unstoppable no more. So we kind of do have rivalries again. But for like 19 years, our only rival was like Pittsburgh. No, it's not a rivalry when you don't lose. The Ravens, whatever stupid ass fucking team Peyton Manning was a part of. That was about that for us. We're thinking Will Campbell here. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Offensive line is their best pick. Just keep building the team brick by brick. Plus, they're probably rebuilding, so get a good young player who probably is a guard. But anyway, it's pick 18. You're fine. Tampa Bay. We could go Jalen Walker here. That's probably not a bad move. Pretty much every... You can kind of just like close your eyes and make a good pick here, it feels like. Well, yeah, I mean, they're at 19. Now it's playoff teams. All that's left is playoff teams for picks. I'm going to guess Jalen Walker. I feel like their linebacking core is not the greatest. They could use corners, though. You see like Benji Morrison. They don't have good corners, I don't think. They constantly were getting fucked around on their defense. Do we want to go corner here? Trying to think like Carolina could be really good next year, so they probably want to stay on top of that. The NFC generally is getting pretty aggressive passing. So I think corner is probably the move here. Again, they didn't really replace Carlton Davis. Who's the best of these corners here? Is Benjamin Morrison the best one, or is Siobhan Ravel Jr. better? I've heard of Benjamin Morrison mainly because his team just played for the national championship. We'll go with this. We'll just take this guy. The Denver Broncos. Say tight end, running back, safety, linebacker. Wide receiver wouldn't be a terrible pick, it feels like. It says tight end is their biggest need, and I kind of agree. I don't think they have a tight end. And getting them one for young Bo Nix wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Especially kind of in a modern NFL. Is Colston Loveland going to be good? Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Just kind of the way NFL offenses are constructed now, you kind of need one. And I don't think Denver's got a good one. Plus, I think Peyton's offenses are typically kind of designed around that position group. So I'm surprised they don't have one. So that'll probably get that one going. Pittsburgh. Oh, there was a Steelers fan in here earlier that said he wanted his team to draft Emeka Egbuka. Or Egbuka. He wants the guy out of Ohio State, and the Steelers usually get it right, so I'm guessing they're going to draft this guy. Because we have no idea what's about to happen with Pickens this offseason. That's probably going to be entertaining. So I don't know, and I don't feel like the Steelers ever do responsible shit. They're probably going to take Emeka. We're guessing it's probably the move. Says their top need is receiver, and again, I don't disagree. They have like one guy that can consistently catch the ball in Pickens, and even then, it's like, not great. And that's not even because Pickens is he's a great wide receiver, but his dumbass is just angry about something all the time. Like, well, I want to throw you the ball, man, but Jesus. Anybody got any stronger opinions on the Steelers? I don't. I'm guessing they're just going to go with this guy. Or they're going to take like an outside of the box receiver like yeah, probably just the guy I was saying. Let's go with this guy. The Chargers. There's tight end, it says. There's edge rushers. There's running back. They could also be in the receiver department. I don't know. See what they got for tight ends. Oh boy, there ain't shit left for tight ends. I guess that's a later in the draft pick. Edge rushers. Yeah, we still have Scourton up there. We have Mike Green up there. There's Jack Sawyer, who's probably going to fly through the fucking... I have a feeling that Jack Sawyer is going to be a first round pick. I don't know who's going to take him, probably Detroit, but I have a feeling that this will be a first round pick. Like, I think this is who the Lions are going to take, by the way. That's me kind of saying who I think Detroit's taking. However, for the Chargers, what do we got? Running back. Is there another good running back? Not for a minute. Not. No, it's way too early to take one of them. Tackle? No, they don't need tackle. What the fuck? The Chargers don't need tackle. I'm going to go edge rusher for the Chargers. Well, they could go corner, actually. What are we thinking here for the Chargers? This is a team nobody ever actually cares about doing the picks for. Edge. And it's always sad because it's like, oh, poor Chargers. We'll just go Scourton. I don't really care. Fuck them. Green Bay Packers. Probably fucking corner, right? Yeah, what corner should they take here? Their defense desperately needs defensive backs. They're losing Jair Alexander this offseason, and it was cooked without him this year. So I'm guessing they go with whatever corner is best available for them. Since we have somebody else taking that other corner a little earlier, then I'm guessing they kind of get like whatever slim pickings are left here at this position group at this point in the draft. I don't know who Siobhan Ravel Jr. is, but Jadi. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I see you. We'll go with that. I see you. Minnesota. Corner into offensive line. Do we want to go with like Tyler Booker? Their line collapsing at the end of the year last year was quite troubling. But, however, there are plenty of other things that we could get from Minnesota. They don't have very good wide receivers. Jefferson isn't that good. Tyler Booker. Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. Draft interior lineman. They need it. Who's Houston? What do we got here for Houston? We can go quarterback. Head coach. Y'all need a lot. Jerry Jones. Well, most owners are a little silly. Defensive lineman. Okay. Yeah, that's actually probably right. D-line. There we go. There's a good amount of players. Derek Carmen, Walter Nolan, Tyleek Williams. Good slew of guys. Daniel, we have you guys taking Shadur Sanders in this mock draft. So I think we had you guys doing pretty good, but we're not, 100%. It's not a terrible idea to hire your OC to be your head coach. All right, we'll go with Derek Carmen. Cool. Oh, you get an A+. Nice. The Rams are up now. I feel like they need an offensive line. I feel like Matt Stafford got sacked 1,000 times in that last game they played. But again, the issue here is, I guess they go with Josh Connerly. Then it kind of falls off in quality quick. Do we think the Rams go with a tackle here, or do you think they might go linebacker? Kind of keep. There's a good pick they could pick up with Jalen Walker and snag what is the best available linebacker. Helps them out majorly, I suppose. By the way, if you haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. Player named Jihad Campbell. I don't know. Look at interior offensive linemen. They could wait. I don't know. It's tough with the Rams. They're a very good draft team. But my guess is they would need to go linebacker this year. I don't think they have very good linebackers right now. And especially with what happened against the Eagles, where they really had trouble with the run. All right, go to Baltimore. I'm going to guess they go with Josh Connerly because they're losing Ronnie Stanley. Anybody have a different idea here for them, or a different lineman that they may go with? And again, they're probably losing Stanley. I think he's leaving for more money. Yeah, I think. Plus, I don't know. The Rams are still kind of rebuilding their defense up. I'll be right back. I think we'll get a little bit more soda, a little bit more pop. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see. We've got a few picks left here, and I think this has been going pretty good. By the way, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Even if you're not saying much, I do appreciate you hanging out and giving it a watch. Yeah, 10 whole likes. That's pretty good. If you haven't dropped one yet, consider doing so. It does help out our little stream here. But we hit double digits, and I guess that's all that really matters. So appreciate you. All right. Let's see what do we got next. The Baltimore Ravens. No one's really given an opinion, so I'm going to go with Connerly. I think they're going to have to replace Ronnie Stanley, and that's some big shoes to fill. Detroit Lions. Probably Jack Sawyer. However, They could also work on replacing some of their interior offensive line, kind of fixing that up a little bit. I personally think they wind up with Jack Sawyer, but that's apparently a bad pick that they can maybe make in the second round. If anybody knows who's like a particularly very like gritty ass player, is there anyone who knows of a guy like that this draft? I like the idea of an edge rusher out of a school like Marshall, mainly just because a lot of very good edge rushers have come from very small schools for whatever reason. Like Khalil Mack coming from the like Buffalo University or some shit. I don't know. Lions are getting Aiden Hutchinson back. They're probably going to sign for an edge rusher, so I don't think that's actually a big deal. Hmm. What, edge rusher? Not very good ones. You know, I'm gonna say they take this guy, Siobhan Ravel Jr. I know it's not a 100% need, but they need secondary depth, and I think that's a good pick, depending on what the offseason looks like. Especially since all the other linemen they can grab a little bit later on. I mean, I guess I could have gone with like Ariante Ursary, but I don't know. Let's see. They're probably going to go defense in Washington. And I'm going to just take because I don't really know who these people are anymore. I'm going to go with Mike Green here. Because again, that's a major position in need. They didn't really have much rush defense. They didn't really have much pass rush in Washington. They've been winning games by some miracle. So, what do we got with the Bills? What do they need? Defensive line, corners. What do we got then? We'll go with just best available at the positions. Philadelphia. What are you thinking, Cheryl? What do you guys need? It says edge rusher, interior offensive line, wide receiver. Kind of your call. You know your team a little bit better. What position you thinking here for yourself? Your team doesn't really need a lot. That's the thing. Like, what conveniently do we want to make better? I guess the line could use a little bit of work just because it's getting a little older. Oh, the one from Penn State. We can't really get we can't get the edge rusher, but we can add an edge rusher though. Who's the best available? Jack Sawyer. Oh, actually, that'd be a good pickup. This would be such an Eagles pickup, like this guy, and he turns out to be a stud. We'll go with Jack Sawyer here. I think it's a good pickup. Just because the guy from Ohio State isn't there, or Penn State isn't available. Now the Chiefs. Oh, or the corner. Oh, I'm sorry. I wound up going with an edge rusher. Chiefs probably going to need a tackle because they're losing somebody. They're also maybe losing interior offensive lineman. Could also lose Travis Kelce. I'm just gonna go with the tackle just because it's their number one. I know we killed this draft. Let's see. I bet you we get an A. What the hell? Is there no all? Save our draft order. This is such a laggy, crappy site. How do I save this? Here, I know a way to get this. Here we go. I know how to save this. Snipping tool. I hate ads so much. All right, cool. Top 9. It was like, oh. But yeah, how's everybody been? Hopefully we've been quite good. So that's our top 9. It was Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Will Johnson, McMillan, Mason Graham, James Pierce Jr., Calvin Banks, and then it was Ashton Jainty, Malachi Starks, Luther Burden, Josh Simmons, Tyler Warren, Michael Williams, Kenneth Grant, Shamar Stewart, and Will Campbell. Just new 10 through 18. Sorry, I'm just trying to like save this so I have it. And then it was Benjamin Morrison, Colston Loveland. Then it was pretty much everyone was here for those final picks that we ended up doing. 19 through this. Been real good. Ask me again on Sunday after. Oh yeah, I was gonna say you have a big game coming up this weekend. New, and then from Mike Green down to Ariante Ursary. What the fuck just happened? That was weird. Okay, I'm gonna close that down. That was weird. Whole screen just went black for a second. Guess that happens from time to time. I don't know. That was pretty fun though. I don't really have too much else to talk about right now. I was planning on doing another stream tomorrow where we could talk more about like the upcoming games, preview them a little bit, and chit chat about that. But yeah, I think that was a good little draft. I think that was a solid little mock draft. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Again, I think we'll do like our first official one coming up right after the what the fuck is it called? The combine. That way we know like more an idea what people are looking like, how teams are feeling, what prospects have shot up the board, who fell down, who's in like the free fall, who's rapidly ascending for no reason, which there will be guys who do that. We're still very early in the pre-draft process, so. Alrighty. Anybody got anything else they'd like to share? Otherwise, I think I'm gonna pop out a little early tonight, but I think this was a pretty good stream overall. I think it was solid. I think we got through what we had to get through. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you for spending a little bit of your Friday night here. Fun. It was a good chat. Kind of getting ready for baseball and for football to end, so we're kind of like getting like a transitory time. So I don't know. And we'll probably be live tomorrow as well. If not, we'll be live Sunday for both the games. So should be a good time. Oh, yeah, you too, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can't wait for baseball. It'll be pretty nice. Yeah, I do appreciate everyone who left a like and everything like that. It's helped to stream out tremendously. It was a pretty good night tonight. At first, it didn't look so good, but we powered through. We have 10 likes. No one's left a like since, but hey, we got 10, so that's pretty good. If you want to leave a like on the way out, I'd appreciate you. Help us out as we end it up. But yeah, I'm pretty much out of stuff. Let me go check like NFL.com and see if there's any like major news to consider or anything like that. Doesn't look like it. Schottenheimer is going to be the next head coach. Somebody already mentioned that. Salah returns as 49ers defensive coordinator. We kind of figured. Talked about the Raiders hiring Pete Carroll. Very funny. Yeah, Sunday will be fun. Jalen Hurts is off the injury report. Taylor Rapp is out. Okay. Bobby Slowick got fired. That's a big deal. I feel like a team's going to grab up Bobby Slowick real quick, like the Rams or some shit. Or he'll be Tampa's new OC and then they're going to dominate with him. But all right, though, everyone. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see you either tomorrow or Sunday. Take it easy. As always, let's go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots. Draft is sometime far away. We got like 4 months left for that thing. Oof. All right, see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out. Good night. Have a good night, and go.